Oh dear, just your average Friday or Saturday night out with the boys. Welcome back to Our Wonderland, and we have just rescued Orlum from Orlum. And at its center, a small cozy cabin nestled among the leaves. We slow further, easing out into an unsteady walk. My feet catch on the grass, rendering my steps stumbling and staggering. My chest screams at me. Beneath, coming out in rough, hoarse grasps that clutch and claw at my throat. But I don't stop. None of us do. Not until we're standing in front of it. And here we are, the cabin. And Orlum is with us, finally, with a bit of sanity in his eyes. And Genzu's finger... Need to figure out what to do with that. Our cabin. There's something both welcoming yet terrifying about it. Yeah, you know above all else, Iggy, about the terrifications of this cabin. How many times have I died here? At least 3, possibly 4. Have we died here? Well, you and Gidget definitely have. Memories of what occurred here twist and coil in my insides. Oh yeah, that was when I said Gidget's screams remind Bucks of Sadie. Yet they're shadowed by a veil of relief. We've made it. The 4 of us. Somehow, in spite of everything, we're here. A place of respite. For us to have one final showdown before a final battle begins. That's right. This is my final moment, too. Are you sure it's the final cycle? A choice I need to make before we can continue. This thought prickles at my heart. Anxious jabs that send my stomach jumping. And I bring a hand to the back of my neck, gaze falling towards the wet grass. In front of me, Gidget opens the door. How very brave of you, Gidget. The creak of its hinges echoing against my ribs. Yes, we shall descend into the horrors that are inside. Maybe it's just as decrepit as Orlum's once castle. Are we trapped in here? Inside the cabin? Is it like it was how we visited last time, for me and Gidget? Or is it much different? No, it looks pretty sane so far. I mean, probably the entrance is the most sane part of this entire ordeal. The cabin is exactly as I remember it. It's warm, and strangely comforting. There's even something cooking atop the stove, filling the air with a delightful scent. Oh gosh, there's Bucks nearby. Almost as though it had been waiting for us for a long time. Food does not keep for that long. I look around, my gaze jumping from the stove, to the table, to the bed. Oh gosh, my focus lingers there for a second too long, and I feel my insides start to twist, as you remember what Gidget did. But I shake my head to clear my thoughts, jerking away. Yeah, Gidget looks equally as uneasy in front of me. Having some flashbacks, are we? I see their own gaze travelling from the bed to the kitchen floor. The colour momentarily drains from their face before they grit their teeth, moving purposely to the centre of the room. Look, Gidget, you admitted yourself earlier that you did some pretty effed up stuff, okay? You know? We can all forgive each other in this cycle in a way. Well, we're here, they say simply. Yippee goddy skippy, Genzu lets out a sigh, shifting Orlum in his arms. Was kinda hoping for a no vacancy so we had an excuse to vamoosh the F out of here. Didn't that kinda happen already? I wince. Well, for some of us anyway. Hey, hello, Orlum. You're looking very happy. Would you mind turning that mouth upside down, please? I throw a pained glance in Orlum's direction, who responds with a non-committal grunt. Gidget begins wandering around, first to the table, scrutinizing the plate full of cookies at its center, then to the pot slowly simmering atop the stove, then to the back wall, to the door that I swear to goddamn God I'd never been there before, at least not in reality. Interesting, they muse. Then try the handle. He doesn't budge. Oh gosh. Is it the same one that was used to, oof us in the previous cycle? Gidget gives it a few more solid tugs for good measure, but it's locked up tight. Guess that's a no-go. Or we could just walk around to the back of the house, like a real possum of problem solvers. Genzu snorts and lowers Orlum down on the bed. Look, Genzu, don't you have a much more immediate problem, considering the fact that you've only got 3 fingers on one of your hands? Sorry. I stare at the door in question, a strange gurgle dancing in my gut. I don't know. I clasp and unclasp my hands, fingers bouncing idly. Something tells me it doesn't lead behind the house. Gidget looks at me, then back at the door. I wonder if they're feeling the same strange sense of otherworldliness that I am. Well, we've all been into a place in which we have not yet been before whenever we encounter one of these encroachments to a character's deepest and darkest and zaniest of thoughts. I mean, Gidget's is evidently more otherworldly, considering the fact that there was lots of spider webs within a deep, dark basement cavern labyrinth sort. And then with Orlum, it's kind of the same, but just more morbid than usual. And then Bucks is the anomaly here. They grunt and cross their arms, slowly moving back towards the table. Well, wherever it leads, we can figure it out in a bit. Because I need at least 5 minutes peace now that we're not being actively haunted for once. Hell to the goddamn A! And I'm gonna fix me up a heaping ball of whatever that is that's smelling like the Divine Comedy. Divine Comedy, what the hell are you referring to, Genzu? And don't you have a finger to fix? Genzu claps his hands together with an eager grin as he starts for the stove. But Divine Comedy? That doesn't even make any sense. Orlum holds a hand to his temple as though staving off a headache. Are you sure it's safe to eat that? I bring up a hand in weary admonition. But even as I do, I can feel my own stomach grumble somewhat unceremoniously in response. Gidget brings their hands to their hips with a sigh. I'd be equally as leery if I weren't fighting the tingling suspicion that it was left here for us to begin with. Exactly. Once we landed in Wonderland, however long ago it was, especially for Gidget and Orlum and also Bucks as well, how long has this particular meal been sitting here? And how much time has Bucks been possibly having to add anything of suspicion to this substance? That I am also ridiculously hungry. Well, you better hurry the F up then, because once I start sloping, I ain't stopping. Of course. It doesn't take long before the 4 of us have filled up a cup of bottles there with stew and taken our seats at the table. 4 chairs. Just enough for us. Why is there only 4? It's almost like Bucks is not welcome in their own cabin. I wonder if the others have noticed as I anxiously squeeze my spoon between my fingers. This stew smells even better up close. And I see thick chunks of potatoes, carrots, and beef within the thick broth. My stomach gurgles again. The last time I ate... When was the last time I think it was within the rabbit cabin. Breakfast back in the burrow. Yes, my brow drops. The burrow. The rabbits. Jerry! It somehow feels like a lifetime ago already. Yeah, thanks, Orlum. And yet I can still picture his face clearly in my mind. The way his eyes had turned sharp as he shouted at me to run. Exactly, and because of the fact that you ran, you didn't let his sacrifice be in vain. As he'd held off the assaulting rabbits. I bite down my tongue. I can't let myself think about that now. When I get back to the real world, I'm going to write an alternate reality where somehow Jerry turns into a tornado once the rabbits started, was on the verge of being able to sink their teeth into Jerry. and then that tornado just somehow becomes immovable, and the rabbits can't even get close to Jerry. As soon as I let one demoralizing thought enter my mind, they'll all start pouring in like a landslide, and I can't afford to let myself wither in debilitating despair. Not yet. What do you mean not yet? At least not at all, thank you very much. Not when we haven't found the bucks yet. Not when we haven't brought this goddamn horror movie to a close yet. If that's even possible. Of course it's possible. We rescued Gidget. Orlum still looks like he's in a questionable state, but he's with us and sane for some odd reason. And then there's Bugs. I dip my spoon into the stew, watching the wooden surface bump and jostle the coloured chunk as I slowly stir it. Then finally bring a scoop to my mouth. It's warm against my lips, but I can't seem to taste it. Why is that? It rolls around like mush in my mouth. Is this even edible? I see Autumn prodding at his own stew with his spoon, a thinly veiled look of disgust on his face. Oh yeah, well, I forgot about your strict humanitarian diet. Would it help if I carved out a hunk of my own stomach for you, Your Highness? That's a bit too fresh, don't you think, Gensu? And a bit too soon. Autumn snorts, and I'd forgotten you'll eat anything that's placed in front of you. Pardon me for still having some semblance of taste. Look, Autumn, I don't think Gensu is that semblance of taste. Or perhaps it is because you envisaged it to do so. Taste? Taste says the cannibalistic dictator? What is this? Freaky deaky opposite funtime Murderland? I stare down at my stew, a thin film of sweat gathering across my forehead. Guys, I assume we were going to keep things pleasant until we made it out of this eternal pit of torment, but apparently not. Would you like to get into every one of your abhorrent vulgarisms, or can we enjoy a single meal in peace? Gensu slams his hands down on the table, jerking to his feet. At least I haven't butchered everyone at this goddamn table, Mr. High and Mighty. No, you'll just slowly chip away at them from the inside until they want to die so you can blame it all on someone else. Look, you two, this is not the time for this kind of conversation or dialogue, okay? We have a mission to fulfill, and you two keep on bickering each other's throats. Guys, my voice is as quiet as a whisper. Better than melting someone's face off with a goddamn cattle prod, you twisted dip bleh. Yes, that was one of my finer moments, wasn't it? Your face was so delightful watching him squeal. Would you two goddamn stop it? Thank you, Gidget. Thank you, Gidget, for getting in here and being the same one out of those three. Now it's Gidget's turn to slam their hands down on the table, which is enough to shut the other two up immediately. The cabin goes quiet. Nothing but the sound of a slowly dwindling drizzle on the roof. Look, every one of us have done some pretty horrific things. Their gaze focused somewhere on the plate of cookies in the middle of the table. We've all hurt each other in unforgivable ways. At this, however, I see their eyes flick towards me for just a moment. Yeah, particularly against Iggy, but how has Gidget hurt? I'm trying to think back in the previous cycles. How did Gidget even hurt Gensu? Like, we got to be in on some of them, and it was like, I wouldn't say Gensu was particularly harmed, but he was sort of casted and denied away from Iggy so that Gidget can have Iggy to hurt themselves, sorry. I wouldn't particularly say that Gidget personally targeted Gensu. Maybe I'm forgetting a few details here, but Autumn was definitely the one that targeted everyone at the very least, except Bucks. We're far from getting over everything that happened in here. That's exactly right. And it's going to take some long talks before we even start to work things out. A pause. Bloated and heavy and seeming to hang over everyone in the room, but we've only got 80% of the cast right now. Iggy 20, Genzu 40, Gidget 60, Autumn 80. We need that final piece. We need Bucks. Before Gidget splays her hands with a buck. But for Christ's sake, can we get out of this alive before you start going at each other's throats? He's one adding unnecessary commentary. We don't want any ifs or buts about who started and who finished, okay? Let's just end this stupidity, Autumn and Genzu. Yeah, well, maybe I don't want to get eaten in my sleep. You! Gidget reaches over and winces Genzu's cap from his head, then hurls it to the floor. Sit down and shut up! No one's eating anyone! I see Genzu press his lips together in barely suppressed chagrin, but he does as he's told. The chair creaks as he slumps back down with an audible snort. Next to him, Autumn snickers. Oh, you're going to get a mouthful next, Autumn. Until Gidget points their finger straight into his face. Yeah, you eat your damn stew and stop complaining. No one cares about your delicate palate. Yep, Autumn's lips curl downward and he looks as though he wants to say something, but he ultimately stays silent, obediently picking up his spoon with a distasteful click of his tongue. And Iggy, me? Gidget turns to me this time. And I must give them the most spooks out look in the history of our friendship because they seem to lose their spunk. They wince, let their arm fall, then gesture limply towards my stew. Make sure you eat enough. They rub at the back of their neck, their eyes strained. You look like you could keel over if anyone so much as looks in your direction. That is very true. Then they sit awkwardly back in their chair, pulling it up to the table with a creak of the wood. It goes silent again, until Genzu takes an overzealous bite of the stew with a, damn, this is some fine-ass goddamn stew, which seems to release some of the tension, and all of us begin to eat. I still can't seem to taste it. Look, sometimes you may not be able to taste something, but it's better to have the nutritional value over it rather than just letting your taste buds be the only thing that motivates you to eat something. But the warmth feels good in my stomach. There we go, there's motivation. It must put some colour back into my cheeks too, because Autumn comments, but I look less like a corpse as we're carrying our bowls back to the counter. Yeah, good observation there, Autumn. He looks like a ghost, except he didn't put any makeup on. That's just how he looks. Which I can't help but feel is just a bit ironic. Just a bit. Gidget rinses off the bowls using water from one of the buckets next to the stove as the rest of us clean off the table. And Genzu wraps a cloth around the gooey stump. Finally, he's figuring out how to deal with his finger. Around the gooey stump of his finger before nabbing one of the cookies. Munching on it as we all instinctively meander over to the back door. The three of us stare at it, silent except for Genzu's munching, until Gidget finishes up and joins us. Then the four of us simply stand there. It's locked, huh? A few crumbs fall from Genzu's mouth to adorn his jacket. Seemed like it, Gidget mumbles in response. Rub at my nose, then step towards it and grab the handle. I give it my best college try, really tugging it, but all it does is rattle on its hinges. Yeah, it's pretty stuck. We're gonna need some dynamite for this. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Oh yeah, let's blow up the door, and also while we're at it, the entire cabin. I wipe up the small beads of sweat that have formed on my forehead, somewhat sheepish as I step back. And we're sure this is where we have to go? Autumn seems unconvinced. Look, we have not yet made it this far into the dream, okay? For all we know, there are more undiscovered areas in this wonderland / nightmarish land in which we have yet to get to. Autumn, you've only been here once, and your rabbit guards seem to have flopped out of existence. Well, I rub at the back of my neck, then look to Gidget, who looks to Genzu. He shrugs with a wobble cookie smith. I don't know. This is the cabin, right? Maybe it's not the right cabin. Wait, wasn't there other rooms in this cabin? The cabin. I bring a hand to my forehead as the other begins gesturing in a feigned attempt at self-persuasion. Where all of this has been leading. I mean, we've all dreamt about it, haven't we? The results in 3 abject stares from my companions. I blink, cock my head to the side. Autumn splays his hands, considering all of us seem to have met some kind of untimely demise here. I highly doubt this would be any of ours dream home. I thump my palm against my forehead in a series of tiny whacks. No, that's not what I turn back to the door, as though it would give me some kind of an answer or sign or something. Then I'm back to tugging on the handle. Desperately this time. Iggy! Iggy! Gidget steps towards me, a hand on my shoulder. It's okay. Don't go postal on the poor door, Iggs. Oh, dearie me, Genzu. Genzu laughs, sending crumbs to the floor. I let Gidget pull me away from the metal knob. Now grease with the sweat of my palm, now it's even harder to open. My shoulders slump. But I make another vague gesture that ultimately falls limp at my side. Come on here, Iggs. You got the most experience out of all of us when it comes to this far into the dream, okay? This is supposed to be. We'll figure it out, Gidget says, her voice almost resolute enough to calm me. Come on, it's 99% of the way there. Yeah, Iggs. We'll blank around and find out exactly. What is it saying? The more you F around, the more you're gonna find out. Do you understand what that means? Yeah, we know what that means. But Genzu is just Genzu. Hey, we might have not dreamed about it, but all of us were pulled here one way or another. Sometimes multiple times. Gidget's brows twitch just a bit at this. This is where we were meant to be, or meant to come, sorry, and we'll figure out what to do next. We've come this far, haven't we? I rub at my arm, still feeling mildly as though I've let everyone down. Sorry, Iggy, you haven't let anyone down. Okay, maybe yourself, but you haven't let anyone down, okay? Images of that night 20 years ago flash through my head. 20 years ago? Back in your childhood days? The book in my lap. Everyone get... Oh! The original visit to Our Wonderland, the first time around. Maybe. I wanted so desperately to impress them, to make them happy. The same as I do now? Yeah, because everyone required a little bit of blood seeped out of them in order for the entryway to open up. Or is it? Yeah, I say with a sigh. Maybe we can some shut-eye until the morning at least. Approach things with fresh eyes tomorrow. Me and my stump approve of this plan. Look, knowing you, Genzu, we don't know what you're talking about when it comes to your stump. It's not the worst idea. Autumn scratches at his neck, sorry. Yeah. I say again, this time allowing Gidge to pull me back towards the center of the room. I study the grain of the floorboards, my hearing especially keen all of a sudden. The rain seems to have stopped, leaving everything silent save the crackling fire in the stove. Come on. We attempt to figure out sleeping configurations after that. Just don't let me stay on the same bed as Gidget this time. The bed is clearly not big enough for all of us, and after Autumn insists that part of it should be his on account of his blood regeneration induced fatigue. Oh my goodness sakes there. Yeah, because you haven't had blood in you for a long time, have you? Just poison. No one else is keen to join him. So we pass out what pillows and blankets we can find to establish our own little corners. I curl up with a blanket next to the stove. Oh, we're the lucky ones. We get to be next to the stove. Gidget insists on taking one of the chairs despite it looking in no way comfortable, while Genzu takes the floor nearest the front door on account of He's barely making the perfect doorstep in case anyone tries to get in. You mean the perfect trip mine? No one, however, stays for long. 10 minutes in, Genzu grunts and says he needs some air and wanders out the door. 10 minutes after that, Gidget gets up. They say they're restless and figure out they'll check things out behind the cabin just in case, leaving no one but Orlum and me in the cabin. Hypocrites. I hear Orlum mumble beneath his breath from over on the bed. I pull my blanket tight around my shoulders and stand up at the fire. I'm restless too. Exhausted as I am, I can't seem to keep my eyes shut for more than a minute at a time. The dark void of my eyes seemed to tempt my anxious thoughts to assault me en masse. And the dull ache of my injured arm makes finding a comfortable position more than a little difficult. I lie there, the warmth of the fire on my face, listening to the sound of my breath, the creaking of the cabin walls, the occasional hoot of a bird outside. No, Genzu, you're not a bird. I shiver despite the dancing flames. For once in my life, I wouldn't mind talking to someone. But who can we talk to in here? Orlum. No. I feel a need to talk to someone. A need to be near someone. As though my heart will disappear into the darkness if I don't. I sit up, still shivering. Why am I so cold? I can't stop. Shivering. What paranormal effects is this place having on you, Iggy? I can hear my teeth chattering against each other, a deep guttural chill curling up through my bones and around my... Oh, is it because of the stew we had? Why am I this cold? I shouldn't be this cold. Don't I? Deserve to be warm? I glance over at Orlum, then at the door. That need is still there. I can feel it pulsing inside my heart. I need to be near someone, to share their warmth. Is it so bad to seek warmth from someone else? No, not at all. To want somebody to share it with depends on who. I've always been so stubborn, insistent that others' warmth should come first. Well, I suppose that's a good thing, to a certain extent. But without warmth, I'll die. Without warmth, I'll fade away into nothingness. Affection of course. Oh, I see. I see what this is. So, throughout the game, I've not taken really sides of Genzu or Gidget, but ignoring kind of adds to Orlum because in the Rabbit's Burrow, we didn't go to either Gidget or Genzu, so that would either not benefit Orlum or heighten Orlum, actually. I don't know. But then again, there's also the beginning as well of who you are, who you're thinking about at that time. I'm not really sure if it's possible to get all three of them to have their affection at enough of a point to be able to do that with. But again, I would like to get both the thinking about Orlum and go talk to Orlum to make this feel truly like I've earned this option. But I've kind of thought to myself, perhaps if we just went through the quote-unquote worst route in the game, then we get to experience the better outcomes later on. Don't talk to anyone. This option will determine your final ending. Are you sure you don't want to talk to anyone? No, I don't want to talk to anybody. I bring my hands to my forehead, staring up at the ceiling of the cabin, studying the intricate patterns of the wood. Then, with a little sigh, I turn towards the stove, scooching just a bit closer to its warmth. No, it's okay. I can make my own warmth. I need to be able to make my own warmth. Defiantly standing alone this time around, I pull the blanket together around my shoulders, staring into the dancing flame. I wonder if it's actually on why Gidget and Genzu went outside. Would it be that if, and say this if If your affection with them is high enough, then they wouldn't be going outside, expecting things of me. But maybe I just need to focus on myself. Somehow this thought comforts me. Yes, that's right, myself. For now, that's the goal. For now, that's my choice. Though I may change my mind in the future, for now I'm content just focusing on me. And me alone. Yes, there are 3 others around me, but I myself am the most important individual to me. Iggy, there's someone curled around me, clenched across my limbs like a tangled mass of netting, a cocoon of warmth holding me in place. Iggy, I'm not in bed, am I? I don't remember my bed being quite this hard or constrictive. I move my lips against each other with a groan of displeasure and try to turn over before the tendrils of consciousness can fully claim me. For goodness sakes, Iggs, you're going to strangle yourself in... Oh, strangle myself? My eyes snap open. This isn't my bed. This isn't my room. And this certainly isn't my... Fire burning stove. Yes, we're still in the cabin, Iggs. We haven't woken up from, well, either going into mass hysteria and just suddenly waking up or being killed. Radiating, because one time in Arc 2 when Genzu was oofed by Bucks, he turned into a frantic rage and oofed Bucks. Radiating a cozy heat onto my cheeks as the blanket twisted tight around my limbs and neck threatens to cut off my circulation. Oh. I glanced up to see 3 faces gazing down on me in blank observation. Hello, good morning. Right. Good morning, Starshine. The air says hello. Thought you were going to sleep the entire morning. Well, hey, this is probably the only time we've had a good night's sleep. The others didn't appreciate my suggestion of consuming you for breakfast. Well, at least you're not targeting Genzu for consumption this time around. Too soon. More like too effed up. If I never hear him and make another joke about eating people again, it'll still be too soon. And even when we're on death's door 60 years from now, it will still be too soon. What a wake-up call. I grumble beneath my breath as I attempt to raise to a seat. I yank at the coils of a blanket currently cinched around my windpipe. We're just glad you were actually able to get some sleep. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because the previous times we tried to sleep, it was like, well, so-and-so, at the very best. Gidget shoots me a belligerent smile. If anyone needs it, it was certainly you. If only we all could have been so lucky. With the snores of this one over here, there might as well have been a steam engine careening through the cabin door. Gensu choo-choo train. What can I say? I'm a loud guy. Yeah, the most obvious statement ever, Gensu. In more ways than one, I see Autumn has not lost his heart of humour. Ignore them, Iggy. Come on, let me help you with that. Gidget kneels down next to me, then fingers helping me work loose the tightly wound coils of fabric looped up and around my chest. Anything else to read around here? My tumbly's rumbling like a volcano. Yes, let's hope it doesn't erupt. Once I'm free, Gidget helps me to my feet, and it takes me a moment to find my balance. Thought I saw some porridge in there when I was scrounging around earlier. Not much, but it'll give us some energy, at least. Gruel. Just what I've always wanted. Yeah, payback for how grueling every second has been within 3 feet of you. I would love some porridge, I interject before this game of increasingly scathing rap spots can continue. Let's make some porridge. Of course you would. You just want to make everyone happy after... Hey! Isn't that a good thing, though? Making others happy? Making others feel happy. I raise a finger. Lower it. Shrug. As true as that is at this moment, nothing would make me more happy. Alliteration again. Then yippee-ki-yay, let's fudge up some porridge. Fudge us up some porridge. Fudge is my replacement word for that word, by the way. You know what it means. I'm not saying that out loud. But like I said earlier, I do appreciate vulgarity because it displays the thought process of that character in that moment. We eat our porridge. Continue investigating the premises. Tend to or retend to our wounds. Yeah, for you it's retend. I finally get a proper clean, and are you the only one who hasn't really had a physical injury to their humanly body here? Has been Gidget. I mean, they snipped their own hair off, but that's nothing in comparison to an operation on your heart or a fatal piercing across your shoulder or losing a finger. And also a blacked out eye. Gidget takes a look at my stitches, which somehow, in spite of everything, haven't come out again, but still could use a bit of hygiene. Our clothes get a bit of spot cleaning, though there's only so much water and a tiny bit of soap can do to tackle the staining properties of blood. And I continue to monitor the door in vain. All four of us have tried it now on separate occasions. Yep, they say in visual novels or any kind of scenery that the scenes that you don't see are just as important as the scenes that you do see on screen. And not a one of us has had any luck. I told you, get some dynamite. Gidget also confirmed my suspicions that a door wasn't visible from the other side. Strange, isn't it? A door on the inside that isn't visible from the back. It's almost like it connects to another world. A Bucks-like world. All the more reason for me to believe Wonderland's testing us with its trickery again. It's not a door that can be opened by any physical means, but something that can only be thought of outside of a box. Or at the very least, trying to keep something hidden. This is like that box scenario from FNAF 4. Like, the developer of the game put that box there with 2 locks on it, but yet there was no physical key to unlock that box and see what's inside of it. It's that kind of enigmatic mystery lingering ahead. But why lead us all the way here only to block our path? There must be something we can, maybe dialogue. I'm staring at it again, my fingers tapping idly on the table as Gidget and Orlan peel potatoes from a stack they found in the pantry. A task that had been deemed too difficult for Genzu in his current defingered state. I mean, you've got another hand, but we always have a preferred hand when it comes to these sort of things. So he'd been sent to chop a few more logs to add to the stove. Don't lose any more digits on your way there, though. I can hear the sound of him hacking away behind the cabin, punctuated on occasion by an aggravated fudge. I continue to stare at the door, even as we finish cooking dinner. Then as we're eating, then as we're lounging around restlessly. Wait a minute, why is the music stopped? Listening to Genzu bring up another ridiculous story from our youth, or Orlan complain about the mouldy cabin air starting to seep into the marrow of his bones. I'm here, Iggy. Oh, the voice from earlier. Yes, that's what you said. I remember that just fine, thank you very much. You're here, I'm here, we're all here. But what do you want from me? I made my choice. Yes, I made my choice. Didn't I? The choice. The choice I had to make before we could move on. Before I could move on. The choice for myself. And everyone else, actually. Yeah, the skip options are good where they are. Nothing has been looked over, so when it comes to other choices within the game, we can't just hold down control and do the do. It just had to return, didn't it? I chew on the inside of my cheek. Then I flick my gaze back to the door. My thoughts return to last night. That desperate feeling of needing to talk to someone. That went against every instinct I normally felt. That wasn't the first time I felt like that in recent memory. No, the first time was... I blinked. For the briefest moment, I'm back in my apartment. I've got my phone in my hand, having just gotten off a call from Huna. Thinking that I needed to change things. A pivotal moment that had happened time and time again. All the events following it determined by that one single call. I sat there a moment longer, motionless, then began frantically checking my pockets. Of course I still have it. I had it when I left Genzu's apartment. Oh, the necklace! I have had it every time I've entered one. Oh, every time? But what's the point of a phone in a world cut off from reality? You may never know. I find it in my lower right leg pocket. Turned off, of course, and likely dead. It hasn't been charged in days. Well, an electronic device can last for a lot longer than you think it can without it being turned on. And yes, it does very slowly drain away, but it doesn't mean that it's completely off. And had been knocked about. Okay, this is probably more accurate, actually. Bludgeoned, plunged into water, and who knows what else. There's a thin web of cracks across the dark screen, and I rub at a sticky spot on something rather along the bottom edge. This is stupid. So stupid. And yet, in spite of effort, I press the power button, and the phone, against all goddamn odds, and defying every possible realistic explanation. Remember, Our Wonderland is not real, so expect the real to be unreal, and for the unreal to be real, and somewhere in between as well. This is a fictional fantasy reality. Springs to life. What the hell, Lex? You could order us something? Is that the first thing you think of, Genzu? No, there's no reception down here. I can't exactly order a Domino's when my location is indiscoverable. What I want you to do is going to be a set of woods just behind these houses that should be knocked down a long time ago. And from there, you're going to have to go through the forest for about 30 minutes until a voice you hear from somebody that you can't see. And then what you have to do is sacrifice a child. And then from there, a door will open up from the tree roots. But then again, the tree doesn't trust you because it thinks you're going to deceive it or something with horrible thoughts, and it's not going to let you win because of those horrible thoughts. So, yeah, where I am right now, you don't have any means of reaching me, and for some odd reason, I've already paid for my pizza, so, just deliver it to my mum or dad's or something. How is it even still working? Mine died weeks ago. I'm not sure where mine went. Maybe you still left it at the castle. I resist the urge to tell all of my know exactly. Wait, really? You know where his phone is? Instead, I watch intently as the phone rings through its startup animations. I wonder if there's something going to be different about this phone this time around, taking especially an excruciatingly long time. Before finally revealing the colourful laser light show, that's the default wallpaper I've never changed. Great, you can tell somebody is very minimalistic because it's the default wallpaper. The icon in the corner, it's 0%, yet it's on. Interesting. The icon in the other corner informs me that I have no signal. Well, that's to be expected. Also interesting. Disregarding both of these ultimatums, I instead bring up my contacts and start scrolling through the names. I should call someone. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, we're given a choice here. Call someone? Call who? Call myself. Hello. Who do I speak to? I scroll down to my own name of the list. But why do I even have myself as a contact on my own phone? That's right. I've made my choice. And now I'm going to decide my happiness. I press my thumb to the call button. It immediately starts ringing. I just stare at it. And the little pulsing phone icon flashing on and off. And now everyone else is staring too. Just listening to it ring. 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 There's a click. But not from the phone. What the hell? From the door? I look up on phase, expectantly almost. So you somehow thought that this was going to work. As the back door to the cabin slowly creaks open. Yeah. One of us just stare at it. How the goddamn hell did this work? Somehow this door was connected to Iggy's phone. At that rectangle of darkness now exposed on the other side of the door. Across the room, Genzu hisses between his teeth. Well, sheesh. Well, shite. That's the British version of the other word. Oh my, oh, yeah, of course there's an axe. There has to be an axe. I should stop asking these questions. Oh, what's going on? Well, I hear something or someone. Well, there's an axe nearby, so I imagine the bucks must also be nearby. We don't stay long enough for that. Why would we? Oh, we're championing up the bit as is. We'll do a final inventory check, if you could refer to it as such. Double checking that our injuries are as secure as they can be. That we're not missing any of our belongings. That we've cleaned things up. Put up the fire in the stove. Genzu props his hat up on the middle of the table, giving it a little pat. For good luck, he simply says. But I can't help but wonder if it's not some kind of parting gift. A homage to this final resting place and to the night of comfort it had provided us. Because we're not coming back. This is it. One way or another, this will be the end of things. For better or for worse. I notice Orlum grabbing a knife from the kitchen as we start to gather at the door. What's that for? I ask, even though I know the answer. Self-defense? I'm not venturing into the black unknown without something to protect myself. He says simply, fastening it to his belt loop. I'm not trying to take a chunk out of Genzu this time. The three of us stare at him blankly, before Gidget tosses a glance about the room and promptly reaches for the broom stand in the corner. They give the bristle end a swift series of stomps as it pops off, leaving nothing but the unadorned stick behind. Right then, they say simply, tucking it in against their side. Now all eyes go to Genzu, who simply balks. What the hell do you think I got this thing up for? Oh, yeah, a screwdriver. He yanks his screwdriver out of his pocket. 'Cause there sure as fudge aren't any bikes to fix around here. Charming. The knight's noble blade is the same. Oh, Orlum. All right, I think we've already set through more than enough inflammatory discourse these past 24 hours. I prefer to leave this place with some semblance of dignity left. This is followed up by a series of grumbles, but they must be willing as there's no more protest if the three of them start for the door. What am I going to grab as a weapon? But wait, guys! I bring a hand up, half in fear and half in confusion. What about me? I was seeing nothing but a trio of blank stares in return. Yeah, feel like maybe having a weapon would be worse for you. Have we still got that vial from from Jerry? I can tell Genzu is choosing his words carefully. You're more like our anchor. Gidget smiles just a bit too wildly. How are we the anchor? Actually, think about it now. He's probably the only probable anchor out of all of us. Anchor? I let out a squawk. Yes, we've all seen what happens when you try to help, haven't we? Then watch as they continue on. What does that mean? But they're already out the door. Hey, what are you even talking about? I go jogging after them, feeling mildly affronted. What do you mean? You're saying I'm not worthy of protecting myself? However, or maybe that axe can be our weapon. As soon as I step outside after them, my voice and my umbrage is swallowed up completely. We stand there for a moment just outside the door. It's black, like pitch black, everything, like one long endless black void on all sides. And it's quiet. Too quiet, deathly quiet. No sound of wind, or leaves, or small creatures tittering in the dark. completely and totally isolated from anything and everything. Why does it suddenly feel like we just walked into this thing's butt? Goodness sakes. Because you're a disgusting human being who can't stop himself from making scatological associations. Oh, great. Great. We need our Cinderella reference. Hey! Hush, both of you. Gidget brings a finger to their mouth. I feel like we're... A pause. They flip their gaze back and forth in the darkness, being watched. I don't see anything. All of a sudden my heart feels like it's trapped in a vice, stricken with an overwhelming feeling of sadness. Come on, Gidget finally says, and I see their vulgar outline being moving forward, with three of us falling step behind them. And I hear Genzu grumble something that sounds like, I'd watch too if something was climbing... I mean, he does have a point, but not in this case. I mean, oh, for goodness sakes. We walk slowly through the darkness. It's the strangest feeling, like moving through nothing. The only evidence that we're making progress is a slowly shrinking rectangle of light emitting from the door behind us. Exactly. That and the feeling of grass underfoot. Because there is grass, but we just can't see it. I can hear it crunching beneath my shoes. I hope it's not magma that we're stepping on next. Feel the ever so slight strain of it providing traction against my soles. And there are trees too. We can't see them at first, but they're here. Oh, the further we walk, the more visible they become. The darkness giving way bit by bit to reveal faint outlines of branches and bark. We're still in the woods. Yeah, because we're not out of the woods yet, metaphorically. Just deeper. An untouched tract within the darkest bowels of Wonderland itself. Moving closer and closer to the core? Heart. Yep, close enough. We walk and we walk. Walk until the trees are readily visible. All around us and endless in the way they spread out in every direction. Crooked, curving branches forming a tangled mere overhead as jumbled roots poke in and out of the dirt underfoot like worms prowling the earth. A sprawling woodland maze with us like ants navigating its walls. I feel strange, more scared than I've ever felt in my life. While simultaneously like I'm returning somewhere I've not been in a long, long time. A place I once found comfort in. It's getting lighter now. Dots of greyish-green sky appearing like pockmarks in the overhanging canopy of leaves. Casting pie-bowed patterns of gloom on the forest floor. The hazy beams of light seem almost tangible as they cut through the darkness, and I can see floating specks of dust and plant life suspended in their sheen. Suspended? The further we walk, the more the forest opens up. The trees are thinning, just a bit. The shrubbery less dense, the roots less coiled, lighter and lighter, until the veil above us gives way. And I realize we've stepped out into a sort of clearing. We stop then. We have not made it into this part of our Wonderland before. Just glancing about, taking in this new development in our surroundings. It's a large open area nestled between the trees. The ground carpeted in overgrown grasses and thistles, and the broadening brush acting as a sort of rim to hold in the static, still sea of turf. Yeah, because that looks like water there. It's like looking at a painting, beautiful but frozen in time. And as I gaze out across it, taking it all in, defeat it, my heart begins thumping like a steam engine. Uh-oh. I must make a noise of distress as I crumple inward because all three of them turn to look at me. Eggs! Genzu's hand is to my back, wide and warm but provide no comfort in my growing dread. Iggy, what's wrong? I clench my fingers into the fabric of my shirt as every nerve and body crackles like a goddamn firecracker. All at once and everywhere, shooting across my skin like electric fire. It's here, I whisper, voice hitching. The F you talking about? Pull yourself together, would you? I bring my hands to the side of my head, terror locking my muscles, pounding through my veins. It's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. What's here? Gidget spins around wildly, but there's nothing. Nothing. I've got zero goddamn clue what he's talking about, but I'm starting to think we need to get the hell out of here. Come on. Gidget gestures forward, and the four of us take off. Then we're running, careening across the clearing. I can barely breathe, barely hear myself think. I force whatever focus I can on simply keeping my legs moving. Just keep on running. The clearing. When did the clearing get so goddamn big? It seems to go on and on. Never ending. The trees on the other side, always one more sprint. One more burst of speed away. I blink back tears as my lungs begin to burn. Just run. Run. But then Gidget stops. So fast, the three of us... Oh, and our colour comes back. Three of us nearly go flying. And the look of blood-drained horror in their face is enough to stop any of us before we can ask what's wrong. Oh, because they're looking towards the far side of the clearing. What is there? The patch of grass had been empty there mere moments before. Oh. This monster is Bugs? But is now occupied by the largest creature any of us have ever seen in our lives. I don't even have words to describe it. A twisted, abominable beast of a thing. His visage warped in snarled tissue. Eyes sunken between meaty slits. Gargantual body sagging as though too heavy to remain upright. And all of it rippling. Strange, undulating motions making its muscles twitch and lurch beneath its skin. Its jaw stretching to the back of its skull. And an axe, with blade the size of a small car, depressing the ground next to it. It's just standing there, unmoving, staring at us from across the clearing. What is this dreamland done to Bucks? Almost like some kind of statue. Guys, I see Gidget's lip trembling. Hope none of us move. All of him is very determined. Look at him, he's not scared. All of us frozen in place. I can't tear my eyes away from it. That sadness, that deep, longing, despair. It's carving out a rut inside me, so deep I can't seem to breathe. Then that thing, that giant, hulking monstrosity, it reels back its head, stretching back as its neck muscles bulge and throb, and roars. Crikey, what are we going to do against such a monstrosity, such a mighty adversary? For a second, my consciousness dances in and out. The sound is so deafening I can't even think. Like 50,000 thunderclaps all land upon my ears at the same time and making my very brain rattle against the sides of my skull. I bring my hands to the side of my head as my vision goes white, then black, then white again. My breath itself stifled somewhere in the back of my throat, base of my throat, sorry. Then, as abruptly as it had started, the roar ends. The beast lowered its head, raises his axe, and charges. It comes fast. Faster than I would have thought possible, crossing the length of the clearing in 2 giant steps. Look, just like any RPG game, we need cooperation to defeat this monstrosity and bring Bucks back from the depths. My shell-shocked brain is barely able to comprehend the sight of it barreling towards us, but I manage to leap out of the way just as it brings the giant hunk of an axe head straight down on the ground at our feet. I don't even realize I'm screaming as I fly through the air, stumble, then go face first into in the ground, a few yards away. I can still feel the tremors rippling through the earth from the axe's impact. I hug at the ground, then try to move, push myself back up, even as my vision shimmies and my ears ring. Iggs, stay back! I hear Genzu shout from the other side of that thing. You'll only get in the way, all in this time. Get as far away as you can. Maybe actually we're the target. Gidget grunts, and I see them go charging at it, pole flying. I can't bring myself to look, not while my head is still trying to stop spinning. So I do what I'm told. Maybe Iggy is the psychological weapon here. So I do what I'm told, shakily crawling in the dirt to try and put some distance between myself and those horrifying tremors. I can hear them. Another roar. I clench my eyes shut and dig my fingers into the dirt so deep the grit clots painfully beneath my nails. Another giant tremor. I can feel my stomach shoot up in the back of my throat, bile stinging my tongue. I clench my eyes shut in an attempt to push myself to my feet, turn around. Oh, I'm immediately met with a rush of air straight at my face. I gasp and throw my hands up, but it's just the sheer force of that axe being thrown around. Every swing forms jets of air that go cascading along the ground, making the grass dance. Left, right, left, turning the clearing into a roiling ocean, before slamming down again with an earthquake-like shake that nearly sends me backwards onto my ass. I chance another peak. My heart beating in my ears. Oh, they're fighting it. Somehow they're actually fighting it. Aha. I can't say they're winning, but their size and speed at least seem to be keeping anyone from getting crushed. Yet. Stop it with that. I dash off to the right where it seems the commotion is about to head my way, my hands to my head. The beast lets out a throaty snarl and charges in Gidget's direction, sweeping left, right, down in rapid succession. Oh, it brings its axe down with another mighty crack. Oh, Gidget! And in that short moment where the blade is still buried deep in the earth, Gidget stabs their paw straight into one of the meaty slits of its eyes. The beast roars. Oh, responding with a seemingly instinctive swipe of their hand that hits Gidget square in the stomach. Ooh, they go flying. As the creature yanks his axe free of the dirt, Orlum climbs onto its back. Yep, the smallest one is very good at that sort of thing. I see him because he's very hard to get off if he's smaller. Very hard to actually get him off from physically being able to reach somebody like that. I see him stab his knife in the fiend's neck, again and again in rapid succession. But that fiend simply shakes his head. Orlum lasts about 3 seconds before going tumbling off, narrowly avoiding the beast as it whirls around, axe slicing through the air. The fiend rears up. Another charge. Genzu? Genzu barely has time to roll out of the way. He misses the swing of the axe but gets hit as the beast sends a claw out. The swipe hits him clean across the chest, carving 3 deep gashes across his shoulder and neck as it sends him tumbling across the turf. Fudge! I bring my hands to my head. Heart pounding, eyes frozen. Again and again they attack. But again and again, that fiend simply bats them away. Their strikes too small, like mosquito biters against that hulking beast's hide. They're sent flying, tumbling, bludgeoned and bruised. What awaits? Here, the keeper of the woods. Claw swipes carving across skin. Then Nara escapes from that axe growing tighter and oh, not tighter. Because it's going to seem like that gap is going to close to a 0. Another roar. the loudest one yet. I slap my hands against my ears as I feel my knees tremble. It's getting angrier. Its rage palpable in the way a howl crackles in the air. In the way its feet pound with increasing speed against the earth. Faster, more desperate, more infuriated. Iggy! I hear Gidget's cry right before I open my eyes to see it charging straight at me. Legs moving on instincts, I go flying to the side. Bump, 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 bump. It's on me in less than a second. And I only just managed to escape the fury of its feet. But I don't see the axe. Oh, huh? The butt of it catches me in the hurricane force of its side swipe. Something cracks in my lower back. Then I'm flying. It all happens within a matter of seconds. One moment I'm sprinting across the turf. The next I'm trembling. Tumbling. My face in the dirt, rolling and bouncing as my arms and legs flail and flop at my side. I don't see Genzu shout and jump on its tail. Don't see Orlum latch onto the thing's claw like some kind of furious tick stabbing at its fingers, or Gidget screaming and hurtling towards it. Only when the sky overtakes my vision do I realize I've fallen. Iggy! Eggs! I can hear them shouting. Hear the desperation in their voices, their attacks increase in desperation. My body is screaming at me. A sharp shouting pain radiating from my back, and a cold wetness forming on the back of my shirt. I bring a hand to my head, waiting for the world to stop spinning. Use your goddamn necklace! Finally, the landscape sharpens into view as I take a gasping breath and feel my lungs expand. I wince, attempt to move my arms and legs. My fingers. Everything still seems to be working despite the throbbing ache. I push myself up to a seat, only to grimace as my ears are assaulted by another roar. A pained one. Oh. I glance up to see Orlum sinking his knife straight into one of the thing's claws. It sends out a cascade of blood that saturates the grass. For a good long moment, all I could do is stare. The sight of it taking another swing at Genzu, though, snaps me out of it. I need to get up. I rock forward, onto the balls of my feet. I'm glad there's context there. My back is still screaming at me. And I notice red on the grass where I'd been lying, but I push up anyway, tottering up and onto my feet. Fudge. I bring a hand to my head as I attempt to find my balance, and with every thump of my heart, another shooting spark of pain zigzags up and down my spine and out through my legs. Fudge. The tears are forming hot and steaming in my eyes now. But not for me, for them. Oh gosh. I watch as Gidget is flung to the side as the beast whirls around. Come on, Iggy. You can do something. As Orlum is thrown to the ground so hard I hear the air snap, as Genzo is wiped off the thing's tail like a fly and sent bumbling and rolling. And yet they keep fighting, because they have no choice. We have no choice. There's something strangely familiar about the sight. And as I sit or stand there and watch the tears cloud in my eyes, I can't help but feel like I'm peering through some kind of looking glass at any one of possible futures and pasts. Yes, any possible futures and pasts. One of 4, it seems like. Unless there's some kind of ultra secret ending to this game, where it's like, I don't know, the equivalent of a harem, but it's not that. What was that on Orlum? Yeah, he's wearing a different shirt, isn't he, Orlum, sometimes? Yeah, but they're definitely wearing different wear in the distorted forms. That horrible, repulsive, abominable beast of a thing, sounding more and more... Ah, human! No, it can't be. We couldn't. We would never. We could never hurt. I start limping forward. Guys, but my voice is nothing more than a gravity hitch in the back of my throat. Guys, stop! Still the fight continues. Another roar, but I don't even attempt to block my ears this time. Not where now I can hear the pain in it. The despair. I raise a trembling hand. Stop! That's louder now. I force the sound from my lungs even as they rattle and shriek. While in front of me, I watch my friends tear each other apart. That's Bucks! Genzu, close to me, turns around. What? He shouts, right before the beast whips around and clocks him square in the chest. Like, Iggy, shouldn't the axe alone be the descriptor that is Bucks? Show the necklace, goddammit, so that hopefully Buck's able to remember that thing. I hear one of his ribs crack as he goes fly. Now you're distracting everyone. No. No. My chest feels like it's caving in on itself. That's Bucks. I try again. My voice tightens, but tears start leaking down my cheeks. Let it out, Iggy. Orlin buries his knife into the top of the thing's head with a deep squelch, only for the beast to reel back with an agonizing howl and shake him off. What are you talking about? Gidget this time, their arms littered with gashes as they narrowly dodge a swing of that thing's tail. It's Bucks! I shout again, so loud and so desperate this time I feel my vocal cords rip from the effort. My shout must catch the thing's attention though, because I see its head swivel in my direction with a snap. It starts forward. Put out your necklace! Fudge. Its feet pounding the earth as it moves towards me. Fudge! Something. I've got to have something. Yeah, use your necklace! What you not gave you? I begin frantically searching my clothes, my pockets. This isn't how this is supposed to end. This isn't how it's supposed to end. I dig deep into the lower pockets of my pants, towards the items that have lain there dormant since we began this final trip down the tree. Stomp, 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 stomp. My hand touches something soft, lashes onto it, the hair curling around my fingers, and I pull it out. The doll. The doll. Oh, the doll! Not the necklace, the doll. Its lifeless button eyes staring up at me from the palm of my hand. Not knowing what else to do, I thrust it up into the air like some kind of offering. My knees, my breath, my very soul trembling. Also, I love the sound of the song as well. What's it called? And also the song from when we were charging towards Autumn's castle. I like that song as well. The creature skids to a halt in front. Oh, sending a cloud of dust and dirt up into my eyes and face, burning my lungs. But I keep the doll held high. Oh. Iggs, what the hell are you doing? I see them through the cloud, all three of them running at me. But it's okay. This isn't how this is supposed to end after all. I see the beast cock its head to the side, studying me. Bucks, it's us. My voice quivers, but I push through it. Even as my knees threaten to give and my heart threatens to stop. It's your friends, Bucks. The beast rights itself, still just staring down at me and the doll, then raises its axe. And slices the top half of my hand off. Yeah. I think as well the transition from color to black and white is also a visual psychological effect. Like every bit of color just went out of existence just because of what's just happened here. I felt nothing at first. My vision spasms, in and out. A crackling lightning bolt shooting up my spine. I stare up at it, frozen in place and thought stolen, before the pain begins. A crackle zipping up the palm of my hand, the end of my fingers, blossoming into a white-hot fire that steals the breath from me. Oh, yep. Red. I jerk forward, arm curling inward. The doll. I stare down at my hand. The doll is gone. I stare down at my hand. Half my fingers are gone. Blood is bubbling up from the severed appendages like a pipe bursting. Red. My hand is red. It won't stop shaking. The red is everywhere, gushing across my palm and down across my wrist and arm. I'm swaying now, my vision fading in and out. Iggs! Iggy! I hear them shouting. Well, I don't hear all of them shouting. Hear the distended shriek of that thing as they charge it from behind, weapons sink into flesh. This isn't how it's supposed to end. I wobble on my feet. Another roar. Screams. enraged shouts. The continued red pouring from my hand. Bucks. Bucks. This isn't how it's supposed to end. I reach back into my pocket, blood quickly soaking the fabric as my stumps search the rest of the cavity. They touch something cold! The jagged edges of something metal! This is what you should have grabbed the first time, coiled heavily at the bottom beneath where the doll had been. I curl my palm around it, slick with blood, and pull out Hunar's necklace! I almost laugh. I'd been so stupid. Its golden surface shines up at me from within the blood-sleeked grip of my palm. Then I lift it into the air. Even as the creature thrashes and howls, even as the shadowy figures of my friends cling to its legs and back, even as the blood leaks down past my elbow, my hand and body trembling, I hold it high. The creature must see it because its demeanor shifts. Oh, a deep-set desperation seeming to grip it as it pulls first Genzu, then Autumn off of its neck and back, and slamming them to the ground. Then me. It takes one look at me. Lets out a bellow straight in my face that splits my eardrums in two. It's not going to chomp your entire arm off, is it? Oh, great. Then grabs me in its claws and lifts me straight off the ground. Icky! I hear Gidget shriek below me, but I don't fight it. My feet dangle beneath me as my arms cling to the beast's grip of my midsection. Higher and higher I go, until I'm even with its gaze. Put him the hell down! Genzu sounds so desperate below me, the tears audible in his voice. All I can do is wince as the fiend's grip tightens around me, constricting my chest and making it difficult. I can kind of see why now Sadai would make them angry, because Bugs, well, I think at this point, hates their baby. Iggy, Bugs, I squeeze out. My voice hurts. I still have the necklace raised above my head. Bugs, remember. The surface of the necklace grows warm all of a sudden. Not warm, hot. So hot it's searing my skin. Oh, the blood bubbling and frothing. Oh, it resonates. Well, it's resonating with something, and then my eyes go white. Did it de-transform Bugs? Well, something must happen. Oh my god, it's so disgusting. It's so big. This is obviously without context. Oh, hello. How are we supposed to go down the slide? I'm not touching it. It's bloody gonly. I don't see what the big problem is. Oh, it's Bugs. Eek. Oh my god. See, it's cute. Just don't bring it over here. He's just a little guy. She's a monster. Ah. Ha 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 ha. You're pretty brave. And there's Hunar. Those guys were all just a bunch of scaredy cats. What are you going to do with it? I'm going to call it Joseph. I guess I'll go put it in the grass. Then no one will have to be scared of it. That's a cracking idea, Bucks. Bye, little guy. Maybe don't make your web on the playground next time. Well, shouldn't Gidget not be scared of it because, well, she was one earlier? You're so nice to it. Well, it didn't hurt anyone. My name's Hunar. What's yours? I'm Bucks. Wanna be friends? Unless you're scared too. Why would I be scared? You seem like a very kind person. Oh. Yeah. Let's be friends. I like you, Hunar. Oh gosh. Memories flooding back. I'm hungry. I want tomatoes. Buck, shh. But I'm hungry, Iggy. I bet if you shout real loud, they'll give you some tomatoes. Really? Genzu, I want tomatoes! Bucks, I'm hungry and I want tomatoes. Young lady, if you're not going to be quiet, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Give me tomatoes, lady. Bucks, oh my god. Alright, Missy, out. Oh? Yeah. Huna. Hi, Huna, what you doing? Young lady. Whoops. You're so funny, Bucks. I'm just reading. Oh? Can I read too? Sure. Young lady. There's so many words. How can you read it without any pictures? You don't need pictures. It's a novel after all, but it's not a visual novel. It's just a novel. It's called a book. You don't need pictures. You could just imagine it in your head. Yes, exactly. That's why books exist. You envisage the words as a visual thing in your head. Oh? This book is an adventure about a princess and a farm boy who becomes a pirate. It's very exciting. Oh! I love the emotions of Bucks. It's like they're always opening their mouth like Kirby. I like that. My brothers like to play stuff like that. They always make me be the monster. The monster? I think you should be the princess. The princess? That sounds hard. It's not hard. I'll be the Dread Pirate Robertson come save you. Dread Pirate Roberts? You're so silly, Huna. I'll write my own book about it. Write a book? Yeah, I love thinking up stories. I want to write my own book someday. But then we somehow got engaged with Bucks, had a baby, and now we're end up in the future self of being in the worst situation ever. That's so cool. I'll read your books, you know. But I need to learn to read chapter books first. It's okay, Bucks. It'll take me at least 5 weeks to write a whole entire book. Only 5 weeks? Okay, I'll definitely learn to read by then. Memories flashing back. Autumn. I say you could talk, dickwad. Now you're just asking for it. Hey, a-holes! And there's Bucks. Oh, sheesh, it's the killer whale. Yeah, you better run, you goddamn ingrates. Freaking monster. I'll show you a monster. Wah! Bloody bullies. Hey, you okay? Those turd biscuits hurt you? I'm fine. Autumn, Bucks! What happened? Just a couple of asshats. Too right, Bucks, you goddamn right. I told him off. Told him off? More like scared him off. Nothing more terrifying than a fist of steel coming straight at your face. The Bucks monster fist of death strikes again. Damn straight. Wah. Autumn? Christ on a cracker. Bucks? Bucks? Bucks, are you okay? Uh-huh. Oh, Huna. Of course I am. Why'd you ask? Well, you went up against those guys. There were so many of them. Well, doesn't matter how many of them there are. Bucks is still Bucks at the end of the day. It was fine. I showed him who's boss. Besides, I gotta protect the crew. But what if you get hurt? I don't know what I'd do with myself if something happened to you. What is it? What'd I say? Aw, you know you're so sweet. We're saying every valve except O and U. It's time for that favorite game. Bucks, Bucks, she's a girl. If she can't do it, no one shall. Lamb, Brookies, Bucksy Krills is up to bat. Krills has been a real terror of the plate these last few games, and with 2 people already on base, I can't imagine Dual Can isn't feeling the pressure. Whoop, the team. What's happening now? Bucks is batting. Oh, she's got him in the ass, Bucks. Gazoo. Should we stand up now? Of course we should stand. And that's out of here. Home run! Another brilliant hit by Lambrook's monster. Wait. The picture doesn't look happy. What in the world? Oh, Krills did not like that. And we've got a fight. This is, oh my god. And now the crowd is getting involved. Oh my god, who did Bucks find a fight with? What's happening now? Everyone's fighting. Bucks punched that other girl in the face. Oh, sheesh, a brawl. I'm getting in on this. Genzu! Iggy! Wait for me! What is Bucks up to? Would you stop laughing? That wasn't funny, Bucks. You kidding? Did you see the look on her face? Bam, bam, whump, right in the kisser. Cheetah to say stuff about Lambrookie. What? I wish you wouldn't do things like that. Ha! Why not? Everyone loves it. You and everyone are two different meanings, Bucks. Homers and shiners, they can't get enough. I'm basically a bona fide celebrity. What? You could get hurt. As if. Have you seen these guns, or have you seen these guns, huh? They're made for whacking and whooping ass. Not to me, they aren't. You don't need to do things like that, Bucks. Yeah, well, what else am I good for, huh? I'm big and loud and angry and yeah, we know that. I'm a goddamn monster. I think you're beautiful. Beautiful? Bucks, I think you're the most beautiful girl in the whole world. And I want you to know if you would be my girlfriend. Yes! Yes! Aw, and they go again. Oh, I'm so happy. I will be the best, most wonderful girlfriend ever. And I will hug you every day and murder anyone who dares to touch you. And, Bucks, you're joking me. That means Bucks has to kill themselves. Bucks is definitely the dommy there. Ah, Bucks, humor. You guys have fun at prom? Yeah, it was nice. Wait, didn't something happen at the prom? It was nice. Ah, look at you both. It must have been so romantic. I'm so jealous. Romantic? Psh. Bucks probably busted the place up. Boring blitz. Mother trucker. It's true, I can't even imagine Bucks in a dress. Who'd have thought Lambrook's High's monster would have a prom date before any of us suckers, am I right? Am I right? Even back then, Genza was breaking that line. Yeah, she doesn't match the vibe at all. Yeah, pretty goddamn crazy. Like polishing a turd or something. You know me, gotta keep people on their toes. Else I'll chop them off. Okay, we see what the axe love is for. Yay, disproportionate violence. Come on, I want to go play bingo. Daddy's feeling lucky tonight. There he goes. But I want to dance. Wait for me. Bucks? We don't have to stay. No, it's, you know, the crew. The crew? Come on, let's go win some stuff. Bucks? Huh? You were beautiful tonight. What do you mean you were? You are and will always be beautiful tonight. You know, Hyuna is there to really soften Bucks when Bucks is just like outlandishly wild. Oh. Buxley Krills! Oh, don't you full name me. You know I hate it when you full name me. Oh, you hate it, don't you? You want to know what I hate? Not really, but I'm guessing I'm going to hear it anyway, huh? I hate when you don't get home until 7 at night. Yeah, because I'm working? No, it's not that. I'm the only one paying for any of this stuff. Your shifts end at 5 now. So I've got a lot of paperwork. Paperwork doesn't mean going to the bar. Oh, this is the argument that they've had before the events, I imagine. Does your shirt say softball? Yeah, and then you come home and immediately start drinking. You would too if you had to deal with the type of jackasses I do. Because taking care of a screaming child all day is better? I didn't ask for a screaming child. Oh, when I did, you're the one who... Oh. That one's gonna hit. My fault. Everything's my fault, isn't it? It's both of our faults. But that means it's both of our responsibilities to man the F up and face the consequences. I hate my goddamn life, you know. My dream is ruined. My life is ruined. You think you're the one who had to throw away their dream? That you're the only one who had to make sacrifices? I can't take it anymore. I never wanted this. I never wanted any of this. I'm not who you think I am. I never have been. I'm not your perfect goddamn wife. Your perfect goddamn mother. Oh dear. I wish I was dead. Bugs, what happened to you? When did you become such a monster? Bugs, I think, has always been a monster in some ways. Are we getting closer to present day? Or back in Wonderland? Bugs? Oh, we are back to the present day. Yuna. We're losing a few things, haven't we? We're bleeding from my ears for some odd reason. Bugs, please. Oh, yeah, we definitely have lost a few digits here and there. For some odd reason, I thought our entire hand was lost. Damn. Iggy. The necklace. Oh. To the beast, now it's Yuna. What do you think, Bugs? Bugs! You don't need to do things like that, Bugs. It's Yuna in Our Wonderland. The Wonderland, for some odd reason. Where's Iggy and Ben? Was this our wish all along? I don't know. You're the strongest person I know. You saved me in more ways than you know, but even you need saving sometimes, and none of us saw that. You're not a monster, Bucks, so please just come home. Is the beast crying? Yep, the beast is crying. The beast, Bucks, is crying. Come home, Bucks. And don't kill us, anyone, actually. Please. You killed Iggy enough times. Roaring. It's gonna start deforming, isn't it? Yep, it's starting to decrease in size. Yeah, it's starting to get some hair. Yep. Yep, and there. Now Bucks is on their knees. Where is Iggy? You're not a monster, Bucks. Or maybe it's just from the perspective of Bucks, of what they're seeing. Oh. Genzu. Gidget. Orlum. Oh, there's Bucks. And Huna. Bucks is obviously in distress. Come home, Bucks. Where's Iggy now? Has it been done? Bucks doesn't say anything for a long time.